Okay, not your normal beginning to a fish video. No corals yet and no fish yet. What is this thing here? Well, anyone who's been following along in the videos knows that there's a new fish room coming onto the basement, which means it's a room that's currently occupied by a gym that is going to be now future occupied by more aquariums, specifically DIY aquarium builds. We're going to build some big new cool aquariums. So what is this monstrosity over here? Well, this is what had to happen first before all that gym equipment could be moved out of that room into its new home to free the room up for the fish tanks. So what you see here is an old pole barn being torn down, halfway torn down. And in its place is going to be the new gym building. Like, it's kind of basically a shed on steroids, or a little mini house or something like that, you know. But at any rate, it will house all the gym equipment. And that means that that room in the basement, that 14 by 16 feet of new fish tank room, will be ready to go. So let's go take a look at that. And I guess before we get to the new fish room area, we should stop here at the closet area, because this cleared out area with all the network cables, this is where the other part of the equipment that occupies the future fish room is going. So the room right now is a gym and a little mini computer data center, but that little computer data center is getting moved into here, and I showed you where the new gym building is going. So let's go take a look at the future fish room. Okay, 14 by 16 feet of future clean slate aquarium room. I cannot wait. So as you can see, we have the gym equipment here. We know where that's going. We have the computer equipment over there. We know where that's going. And we know what that means. That's going to open up all this space for those aquariums that I've been teasing, what probably seems like forever now. I know you might be wondering, is he really building these things or not? I said the fall. It's early September, and it's just getting ready to get started. So I'm pretty close, you know, to estimation. Unfortunately, with contractors to take stuff down, you're at the whims of their schedules. Nothing you can do. But we are almost there. So this is what's going to happen. So all this stuff is going to get moved out, and then the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and paint the concrete floor, because it's just raw concrete right now. This is like a utility room. And then go ahead and paint the walls, and then it's time for the builds. So I've done a lot of thinking, like on different strategies for how to get the most fish tank out of this room. And so what we have here is we have 14 feet this way, and then we have 16 feet of usable space this way. Kind of including out here, even though there's a door over there. If we wanted to, we could build out here. It's open. There's plenty of room behind me. So the theory is, how do you get the most and the best aquariums out of this space? And so what I've come up with is a 6.5 foot long, 3 foot tall, and between 40 and 48 inches out wide deep aquarium here. And then on the left side, a 7 foot long, 4 feet front to back, 3 feet tall aquarium. And then that leaves us room on the end here for an aquarium I already have, which is just sitting in storage, which is a 93 gallon rimless cube. So it's 30 inches by 30 inches by 27 inches. So the theory is I'll put that there, and then we'll have the two big beast aquariums over here, and then there'll be a nice 4 foot area in between the aquariums, you know, to have like a little bench, or, you know, some sort of seating to enjoy the aquariums. Like you've seen with the fish basement, I don't really build my stuff to pack in as much as you can possibly pack in. I want it to be enjoyable. I like looking at my aquariums, and I want to be able to sit down and enjoy them, and not just like stand in front of a rack or something like that. Okay, that's it for the future freshwater room part of the video. Now we're going to kick over to the saltwater side of the house, and we're going to start with the 150 behind me. So you see I got the tank top on, which means I'm going in the aquarium. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the corals from the 150, and they're going to be new corals for the 600 gallon Reef Slope. So the 150 is the only marine aquarium I have that's really suited for growing any kind of coral, SPS, acropora, anything. It has very high lighting, and it's dosed perfectly for that, and it has all the right fish for that aren't going to bother those corals. I had these softy corals already, so I moved them in there, but I think a better place for them is a 600 Reef Slope, because the fish that are in there are large angelfish and triggers and things. They won't bother these corals, certain types of triggers, blue throat trigger, not just any. Some triggers will destroy anything, so don't get me wrong on that. But yeah, these corals will do very well over there, and that aquarium's a lot bigger. So already these toadstool mushrooms are pretty big just for a 150 cube. So the new corals are the corals from the 150 moving to the 600 gallon, and we're gonna leave the, well, let me show you. So we're gonna leave the little bit of zoanthids you see there, but we're gonna be taking all of these soft corals and the rocks they're on and transplanting them into the 600 gallon, which is gonna, first of all, we're gonna have to rescape this a little bit, which I it's sort of settled. I wanna open it up a little bit more, and we have a rock here that fell down, which I guess it must have been up there, I don't know. Any rate, so we're gonna rescape this a little bit. We're gonna take those rocks, move into the 600, and then that's gonna open up the 150 to, I think, be, you know, I'm kind of leaning towards SPS, sort of mixed, I guess. So maybe SPS on the top of the reef here, and then I still want to have zoanthids and mushrooms on the bottom, and then I think the identity for the 265 portion of the 1500 gallon system is going to be obviously the fish you see, but it's going to have LPS corals mixed probably with some mushrooms and things like that down low. Things that this big beast right here won't eat, because that Indian black trigger, he is a pig. And also we have the emperor angel, so we know how big angels are at picking at certain corals. So I think those are the corals that are going to work well with this tank, as well as they flow. So you get the LPS, you got a lot of flow with the tentacles, and I'm a shimmer junkie with the lights, and I'm a flow junkie with the corals. So I think that is going to be the ticket here. That's going to be the look I'm looking for, and be able to work with these fish that I like to keep. You know, I'm a bit of a fish first guy, and then I get the plants and corals that work with the fish I want to keep. So let's take a quick look at the 600 gallon before we start the move. Okay, the 600 gallon. I couldn't be more happy with this aquarium at its current, where it's currently at. We know that as the aquariums are being, established, you go through a phase where you have to have a lot of patience. You need to have time for all that base rock, which is now starting to look like actual reef rock with coralline growing in. You need to have time for that to happen. You need to have time for the system, the sump system behind this refugium to balance itself with the new fish load. And of course, you need to have time for the fish to get acclimated. So we have done that here. We have, the rock is getting established. The fish are doing great. Just, oh man, I've been very happy. Sometimes when you introduce, even after quarantine, you introduce a lot of fish at one time, there can be problems. There could be problems between the fish. There could be a sickness. Or you could have fish that are finicky eaters, whatnot. A lot of things can happen, and luckily, nothing here has happened. It's been great. These guys are enjoying their home, and in a minute, they're going to get some corals in this aquarium. But real quick, let me show you the refugium behind this that supports this tank. So I call it the 1500 gallon system, and we have the 600 gallons here, and we have the 265 up there. But then down here we have the 700 gallon refugium. And as you can see, it used to have all that rock that went into Predator Bay, and now it's been repopulated with new Marco rock that is getting seated within the sump and getting covered. And you can see all the inverts everywhere, little snails doing their job, keeping everything clean. But this is the engine that powers the 1500 gallon system. It has a big protein skimmer, and then lots and lots of live rock and invertebrates. That's the way I roll. Now this isn't full of live rock again. It's going to be built back up, but I like to do it in stages rather than just dump a huge amount in all at once. But this is the engine powering the 1500 gallon system. Okay, now that we've seen that, I think it's time to get these corals moved. Okay, those are some very sad corals. They went from being all out and open and happy, then you pull them out of the water, and they definitely don't appreciate that at all. Now they're all like, oh, what just happened? But they are moved over. So we have a green mushroom, green toadstool coral, another green, a white, and then a green branching soft coral. I don't know exactly, I forget what species exactly, but they are moved over. I have the water pump turned off, so the fish, everyone's kind of like, what's going on? Just added things. Let me show you top down, because the 600 gallon, definitely the thickness of it doesn't translate just looking in through the front. You know, this 4 feet from front, or from back to front, you know, is, and the 4 feet of depth. You just really don't get to see that, you know, from the top, as well as the large area back behind there for the big fish. You know, we have the big angels and the big tanks, so we want to have large areas for them to go. So a lot of open space that you just don't see looking straight in from the front. So just want to give you a little bit of a top-down look. So, you know, the reef comes up here. Now we're coming back, so that's probably 6 or 8 inches out the front. So we're coming back a full 40 inches or so, and then wrapping around. So very substantial. When this is completely filled for corals, I think it is going to look pretty amazing. But this is the first step, is we have a few corals moved over. Now let me go give you a look at what we did at the 150. Okay, now that is definitely not going to cut it with the aquascape and the 150. So let's fix this up and see if we can't triage this appearance and make room for some new corals to add to it. Okay, that's a little better. We moved some rocks around and took a rock or two out of the refugium sump here for the 150, and we have a better base now for corals, a little more symmetrical design. Definitely a lot more open space. So when those sticks grow up, we're going to get a lot of space for the smaller fish in between the corals, and then we got more open space in the middle. We've maintained all of our cave complex down there on the bottom part of the aquarium, so the fish can swim through this pile of rocks in every which direction. They can come out every single side. We created a new, smaller little cave complex here in the front, and like I said, maintained the other aspects of it while opening it up more and making more room for corals. So definitely I will be fast tracking as best I can, getting frags for the 150 and getting this actually looking like a proper reef aquarium, because this is my only, you know, pure reef. This was set up to be a reef aquarium. So normally I'm a fish first guy, but this aquarium I only put fish that I knew would be perfectly compatible with any coral, including SPS. You know, we have the strong Kessel lighting, and we have the Vortex pump, so we're all set up for, you know, running any kind of coral we want to run here. So we have the blank slate again. It won't take but a minute for that rock to get completely covered in coralline again. This tank grows coralline algae like a machine. So it's just a matter of getting a group of frags and getting them growing and making this actually look like a proper reef aquarium again. But at least we have a good foundation to start with now. Okay, so the toadstool leathers are doing good in the 600 gallon. As you can see behind me, the 150 has been rescaped and ready for corals again. So I'm gonna keep working on getting those sticks coming, those frags, and getting them seated in here and getting the 150 going. And then I think the next video is probably gonna be back to the 3,000 gallon. We're gonna go through the whole filtration system. It's been revamped and we've never really covered it all the way through. So we're gonna go through there. And we're going to show you that some of the grow outs have been moved into the big tank. So new fish to the 3,000 gallon. We'll check that out next time. And then as you saw in this video, things are happening. Things are getting torn down, new things are being built, and rooms are being prepped and ready for new DIY builds. So we have 3 big freshwater builds coming. So very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to it. And those builds are going to be starting really soon. Thanks for watching.